There's a voice missing from the New Testament, not hidden between the lines, not lost in translation, removed, and it belonged to someone you already know, Mary Magdalene. So here's the question. Why would a woman who appears in every resurrection account, who is the first witness to the most important event in Christianity, not have a voice in the official story? Why is she there at the beginning, but silent in the doctrine that followed? Because there was a voice. There was a text. It's called the Gospel of Mary, and it tells a very different story, not about miracles or parables, but about authority, leadership, and who gets to speak for Jesus after he's gone. Let's start with what makes this text so uncomfortable. In this account, the disciples are afraid, confused, directionless. Jesus is gone, and they don't know what comes next. And then Mary speaks, not as a follower, not as a background figure, but as someone who understands. She steps forward and begins to teach. So ask yourself, where did that authority come from? Because in the canonical Gospels, Mary is present but not positioned as a teacher. Here, she is. According to the text, Mary claims something extraordinary. She says she received a vision, a private revelation from Jesus, knowledge that wasn't given to everyone else. Now pause there, because that raises a problem. If one person claims to have deeper insight than the rest, who decides if that claim is legitimate? And more importantly, who benefits if it's rejected? The tension in the text becomes immediate. Peter challenges her, openly, directly. He asks why Jesus would reveal something to her and not to them. Think about that. Not, is this true? But why would you receive it? So the real question underneath his challenge is this. Is the issue the message or the messenger? Because if Mary is right, then authority doesn't belong exclusively to the inner circle of male disciples. It expands, it shifts, it disrupts the structure. And that kind of shift is dangerous, especially in a movement trying to find itself. Now, zoom out for a moment. Early Christianity wasn't a single, unified system. It was a collection of competing ideas, different communities, different interpretations, different claims about who Jesus was and what he meant. Some emphasized structure, leadership, and order. Others emphasize vision, insight, and personal revelation. So ask yourself, if you were trying to build a stable institution, which version would you choose? The one that centers authority in a control group, or the one that says anyone with the right insight could speak with authority? Because the Gospel of Mary leans heavily in one direction. It doesn't build hierarchy. It questions it. It doesn't reinforce structure. It loosens it, and that makes it unpredictable. Let's go back to the confrontation. Peter resists. He questions her credibility. And then another voice enters. Levi. He defends Mary. He calls out Peter's reaction. And he asks something that cuts deeper than the argument itself. If the Savior made her worthy, who are you to reject her? That question doesn't just offend Mary. It challenges the entire idea of controlled authority. So now we're looking at more than a disagreement. We're looking at a power struggle. Two models of leadership, one based on position and hierarchy, the other based on insight and experience. So which one survives? History gives us the answer. The structured model wins. The institutional voice becomes dominant, and texts that don't support that structure start to disappear. Now, to be clear, this wasn't a single decision made overnight. It was a process. Centuries of debate, selection, and consolidation. Leaders determining which texts align with what would become orthodoxy, and which ones didn't. So here's the next question. Was the Gospel of Mary removed because it was false? Or because it didn't fit the system being built? Because the implications of keeping it are significant. If Mary's voice remains, then authority becomes less centralized, less controlled, more open, and that challenges any structure trying to find clear lines of leadership. But there's another layer here, and it's more subtle. In the canonical text, Mary is the first to witness the resurrection. She's the first to carry the message. So ask yourself, if she was trusted with the most important message, why wouldn't she be trusted with interpretation? Why carry the news but not the meaning? That tension never fully disappears. It just gets managed. Over time, her role becomes smaller, simpler, less threatening, and the possibility that she held authority fades into the background. Now think about what that means for how history is shaped. Because history isn't just what happened. It's what gets preserved, what gets copied, what gets taught, and what gets left out. So another question: how many voices shaped early Christianity that you've never heard? And maybe the most important question of all, what determines truth? The number of voices that agree, or the voices that survive? Because the Gospel of Mary didn't disappear completely. Fragments remain, enough to show us that there were alternative perspectives, alternative structures, alternative understandings of authority. And whether you see it as authentic, symbolic, or speculative, it forces you to confront something deeper, not just what early Christianity believed, but how those beliefs were selected. So we come back to where we started, a voice missing from the New Testament, a woman present at the center of the story, but absent from the structure that followed. So ask yourself, was she forgotten or was she removed? If this made you think differently about what you've been taught, subscribe, because the next question is even bigger. If some voices were left out, what else didn't make it into the story?